Hello and welcome back to this short series of films about how to sit Zen. I'm Reverend Myozan Kodo of Zen Buddhism Ireland, and so far we've been looking at the body, the breath, and today I want to look at the mind, what's going on upstairs. So, sitting in Zazen, as we sit facing the wall in our tradition, not right up against the wall, but a little bit away from the wall. All visual distractions taken away. We're not looking around the room, or when we're sitting with others, we're not seeing how other people are sitting. No, it's us and our practice. So by facing the wall, we are facing ourselves in Zen meditation. And we are facing our mind, everything in our mind. So what happens when we quieten ourselves and still ourselves in Zen meditation is we notice how busy our mind is, how there's a lot of babbling and noise and narrative going on. And this is normal. Sometimes it's called monkey mind. Monkey mind that just jumps from fruit to fruit, from one thing to another. And indeed, many of us come to practice because of this busy, over-busy mind that we're trying to find calmness in our practice. So when we sit still and quiet, we notice just how busy our mind is. And that's fine. But what happens if we stay sitting is, well, the analogy sometimes used is, imagine a glass of water full of mud that's all stirred up, and this is our normal mind. And if we allow the water to stand still, if we put the glass down with the swirling, muddy water, then after a few minutes the mud will settle to the bottom and the water will become clear and luminous. And this is what happens to our mind in sitting Zen meditation. But it isn't an absolute type experience. It isn't usually an experience of absolute clarity and absolute stillness. There are periods of stillness and periods where the active monkey mind bubbles up again. So what happens in Zen with our mind is, and by the way, in the Zen tradition, the word is shin, which includes both body and mind. They're not, heart and mind, actually, to be more accurate. They are not considered to be two separate things. And indeed, the body and mind are not considered to be two separate things in our tradition. So, by sitting there, the mind stills, but still produces thoughts, fantasies, daydreams, emotions. Lots of things come up. And we just sit, no matter what emerges. So the core practice in Zen is called shikantaza, just sitting. So when we sit, whatever emerges in our body and in our mind, in our emotions and in our thoughts, we just allow it to emerge, we see it come into being, and we allow it to pass out of being again, without trying to grasp onto it, or without trying to push it away, or without trying to repress it. In our great spaciousness, in the great spaciousness of sitting, it is sky-like. It is like a blue, clear sky. And these thoughts and emotions are like clouds. This is a classic image in the Zen tradition, are like clouds floating through that blue, clear sky. And we just allow them to float on by, without pushing them away, without grasping them. And in the background all the time is the great luminosity of our mind, of our awareness. So this is just sitting. Whatever emerges, let it emerge. And what does emerge? Well, our habitual obsessions, our habitual thoughts, and our habitual fantasies often emerge. So sometimes they're difficult things, sometimes they're painful things, sometimes they're joyous things. Whatever they are, we sit with them regardless, without judgment and without attachment, and without discrimination. We don't try to cultivate these blissful states of mind, and we don't try to repress these painful states. Whatever emerges, with equanimity, we allow it to come and we allow it to go. And so sometimes when people are sitting, if you have pain and suffering or things in your life that have caused you great difficulty and pain, they can come up in Zazen. And that can be difficult. But this is by itself, left to its own devices, Zazen is a transformative and healing and powerful thing. So it is also a safe space in which to allow these things to emerge and resolve themselves by themselves without us trying to resolve them. This is something that happens over a long, long period of time, and it is also something that it is highly recommended you work with a teacher on, because if you work on your own, like any of us, we can lose our way. We need other people to bounce off, to mirror ourselves in, to seek advice from. So it's important to practice with a teacher. So the mind, in any sitting, there are moments of great peace and great stillness. But it's not like ever that the entire sitting is like that. We come into that and we pass out again, often in sitting Zazen. And maybe, our body starts to slump one way as well, and we need to adjust that. So during Zazen, we make little adjustments to remain in our correct posture. And when our thoughts wander, as they do, we just gently bring them back to an awareness of just sitting. If the mind is very busy, sometimes it's useful to do a body scan to bring your awareness to the top of your head, to your forehead, your eyes, your nose, relaxing each part of your body, your shoulders, your upper body, your abdomen, all the way down to your toes. And then to have an awareness of your breathing, and then just to let it go after a few minutes and to just sit. So, as I've said a number of times, this just sitting, this awareness of the body sitting there, of the body and mind sitting there, this is Shikantaza. Whatever emerges, emerges. And whatever comes into being is fine, and whatever passes out of being is also fine. So, the mind, if it's overactive and very, very, very busy when you sit, it can be good to use the breath to become calm before you actually sit Shikantaza, before you leave the breath aside to its own devices. If the mind is lazy and sleepy, then the posture is useful to open your eyes a little bit and straighten up a little bit, and then relax, remain upright, and this will help you deal with a sleepy mind. So the mind in our practice is endless. It is a universe unto itself. And you will notice after many years, you'll get to know yourself, really. you will see how your mind works without even trying to. You will see the habits of your mind, the obsessions, the way your mind keeps bringing up the same things again and again. And you'll begin to notice patterns, and you'll say, there it is again, just let it go. So this is a process of liberation. But in truth, it is not a process at all, because that mind, that peaceful Buddha mind, that true self, that true mind is there all the time in the background. And this is the mind we begin to encounter as we sit Zazen. So in terms of, is Zazen a replacement for psychotherapy or working with a mental health care professional? No, it is not. If you require professional help in terms of your psychological health, your mental health, do that separately, and please do it. Zazen, Zen meditation, is not a replacement for working with a mental health professional on your own mental health. But Zazen can be done in conjunction with that, but should not be a replacement for that. If you suffer from a psychological illness, you need help with that. So please don't use it as a replacement for seeking correct help. But what you will find is that by practicing, by establishing a daily practice of Zen meditation, that it will encourage positive and peaceful states of mind naturally by itself. But these things should not be pursued. So Zen is not about chasing and grasping after psychological states. It is about allowing whatever to blossom, to emerge of its own accord. And if you experience joy and bliss, as you will do sitting Zazen, do not chase after it. And if you experience pain, do not repress it. Sit with whatever is. Come with no expectations, with an open mind. Come to Zazen with nothing, and see what Zazen, what the universe brings to you. So, the body, the breath, the mind. Please begin your practice. Sit daily. Enjoy your practice. And enjoy your life. Thank you.